either in funding or technical skills. It's all about where you are and where you want to be, and find somebody to take you there.
All right, fantastic. He has highlighted our partnership. Now, let me tell you something. Even for young people, and I know two guys in the gas space. In fact, one left our company, and one, I knew him in the industry. Young guys, these guys are in their 30s, right? Maybe, I'm not sure they're up to 35. They are, you know, the gas industry is growing. These guys just stuck out on their own and started gas business, right? And interestingly, I was looking at the status of one of them recently. He was walking into a private jet. And I'm like, man, this guy has moved though. But I remember when he went to that business like 4 or 5 years ago, but he knows the industry. What he did was he understood the industry very well. He had the knowledge. He was able to mobilize partnerships, mobilize a lot of people to get the business done. And here we are today. His business is viable and he's going to grow because he's well positioned. He understands financing, he understands collaboration. So you have made a very valid point. Engineer Baba, those points on using gas flare, on mechanisms of transport, under a minute, please.
Okay. So for reducing gas flare, penalty is the last resort. It's not the first line of action. Today, you cannot develop any field without a clear strategy on how to monetize your gas. And it's zero flare. Zero flare, absolutely zero flare. The commission would only allow you to flare gas in 3 instances. One is if it's emergency, 2 process offsets, and any other emission in line with best international practices. So these are the only 3 ways you can flare gas today. And for any reason, if you are flaring for the old sites, you have to pay that penalty. And you are paying that penalty because you have a solution which is yet to come on board. If there is no solution that will come on board, the site will be taken and put in the gas flare commercialization program, the basket. So there is no room for any deliberate flare anymore.
All right.
These are clear avenues for reducing
for gas flare. Thank you. So for the question on gas flare, he has clearly made a point. The regulation on gas flare has been so intense in the last 1 or 2, 3 years that many companies are just producing for the company, and they are using the fines of gas flare. What they are paying in gas flare is almost as equal to their revenue. Because before, as at 4 years ago, before 2018, gas flare was 10 naira per 1,000 scoff. 10 naira per 1,000 scoff. By July 2018, per 1,000 scoff. How many months ago? It was increased to how much? $3.50. $3.5, yeah. $3.5 per 1,000 scoff. So it's making everybody find solutions to those gas flare, because that is an existential risk for anybody operating in this industry to keep flaring. Your penalties could be as high as your revenues. I think we have addressed that. Since Engineer Kalu was not here, I'll take the CNG. The question on CNG is this. Actually, there's been a lot of investments in CNG in Nigeria in the last few years. It's been one of the fastest growing areas. But CNG has limitations because from the mother vessel, from the daughter station, from the mother station rather, where you need the CNG, it cannot be more than about 180 kilometers. Right? And most of the gas is being found in the Niger Delta. So you find out that you can't move too far away. You can't transport CNG that far, but you can transport LNG. How many of you have seen the green view trucks? Have you seen a green view truck? What do you think they are carrying? They are carrying LNG. Any green view truck you see are carrying LNG. If you are driving behind them, look at the nameplate at the back. They are carrying LNG, not CNG. But the CNG trucks are the tiny ones, right? You will not see it in Benin a lot. And the reason is, now most companies just go straight to this guy where he gets his 24 hours light and go and have contracts with them, right? So you don't need to do a CNG plant in your house or your factory anymore. Just go to the provider and get 24 hours electricity. As long as, I think the government in Benin has done that very well, where if you have the monetary capacity, you can get that done. But you won't see a lot of CNG here, but I think in Lagos, most of all the big hotels in Lagos, Eco Hotel, Intercontinental, all of that, that's what they use. It's mostly common in that area because it's farther from the Niger Delta. But you won't see it a lot in the Niger Delta because we all have access to pipeline infrastructure. Pipeline infrastructure could be as 3 times, 4 times cheaper than CNG. I think we still have one question that has not been taken. Regulations. I think we have talked about regulations, right?
Yeah.
Or is there anyone you noted there that you want
Decade
to?
of gas.
Decade of gas. Decade of gas, yes. Under a minute, please.
So for the decade of gas, is not just on paper. I can speak for NEPL. It's very much on course. Today in NEPL we are producing around 1.3 BCF of gas per day, and half of that, a lot of them goes into the domestic market. And in 2025, we are planning to double our production to 2.5 BCF per day, and we have deliberate plans and strategy. One of them is the monetization of the 42 gas, which we have started having serious conversation. And fast forwarding, in 2028, which is part of our 5-year strategic plan, we will be producing 3.5 BCF. This is just NEPL. And just know that the total gas production today in the country is around 8 BCF. So what this means is that in 2028, NEPL alone will be producing around half of what we are currently producing. Not to talk about the PSC companies and the JV companies are doing. They also have their strategic plan, and all will culminate into achieving the decade of gas. So this is from NEPL, a part of those that are driving this effort, and I can categorically tell you that it's very much on course.
Thank you so much, engineer. And just to add, 4 or 5 years ago, you won't have a panel on gas, solely focused on what? On gas. It shows the attention that is being given to the gas business in Nigeria because it's the future. And on this note, I'd like to thank the panelists once again for their time, and God bless you. Oh, on the question on CNG, on power, yeah, on CSR. So just to say something, I can confirm that what Sarah is doing, NEPL, NNPC and P Limited does it in many of its locations. I know about Odidi, I know about many places in Rivers State where the power generated from the flow station, not all locations yet, right? But I can tell you that even in Oredo, right? In Oredo, power supply, NNPC, EMP Limited has started supplying power to the community from Osiomo. So when it comes to this CSR, we are also taking a very, very vantage position and leading the pack. And then looking at that model, imagine all the companies in Nigeria supplying all their local communities. We can't eat our cake and have it. Is that we want to pay market price for this thing, or we don't want to pay it? The reason why we actually got into where we are today is because of poor investment. And let me just tell you, most of these companies are being owed billions of naira. My own company, I can't mention, I'm not at liberty to mention how much we are being owed, but it's as huge as you can imagine. It's humongous, the amount power companies are owing the gas suppliers. So when you talk about profit, there's almost no profit. I'm not even sure there's anybody making any profit, because the amounts being owed from the guy who bypasses in his house, right, to everybody who steals power, they can't pay for the gas that they buy. So the industry is weak because people are not paying for the power that is being supplied to them, and power companies can't pay for the gas. So we have to make a tough choice at the end of the day, whether we really want to, whether we want quality service, or we want cheap, unavailable service.